Bom dia. Aren't made of money, but want to see the world? Join the Navy. I kid. It's now or never. Imagine living abroad and traveling the world for cheap. Let's talk about how you can make this happen and what we would have done differently if we started this whole process over again. Hindsight is 2020. The logistics are somewhat daunting, but the reward is immeasurable. The past 6 months, we've spent a lot of time traveling throughout Europe, and next year we want to spend even more time seeing and experiencing Europe, but we want to stay longer and move slower. You know, stop and smell the roses, as they say. Create our own 6-month flower and garden tour throughout Europe. We want time, lots of it, in each place we visit, but we need to be cost effective. I know, we want it all, but I'm willing to bet you do too. So let's go. It'll be fun. Just a little background. I am Alan. 2 years ago, my family and I moved to Portugal, and when we did, we found it hard to find trustworthy information on how to go about such a grand undertaking, and a little reassurance goes a long way when making big changes in life. So, we started this channel to help others like us plan and budget their next adventure. Ours involves selling all and moving abroad. Don't worry, you don't have to be this extreme. We can do this because of people subscribing to our YouTube channel, through financial memberships and Patreon, one-to-one meetups, and using our affiliate links. Through your support, we share our adventures with you as you work to navigate your own. It'll be fun. Vice divertido. Marseilles, France. Once the heroin capital of Europe and a star city of the movie The French Connection. Nowadays, it's all cleaned up and ready for a nice visit. The past 6 months, we have visited 5 countries, some of them twice, some very short stays, and some longer 10-day stays. We have videos about all these wonderful trips, and we'll link some of our favorites at the end. In 2024, we are changing things up and planning month-long stays so we can really get to know an area, as our videos are designed to introduce you not just to the city and sites we are visiting, but also to the country as a whole. With this in mind, Discover Cars is going to be our best friend in these travels, as no matter where we live, we would have a car, and to experience Europe without one would just be wrong. We actually have an affiliate with them, and you can find a more thorough trusted vendor list as well as a moving abroad checklist on our website at www.it'llbefunretirement.com. Marseilles, France has a population of about 900,000 residents. As we mentioned earlier, the first thing you will hear about this city isn't positive. Marseille has grappled with historical issues of drug-related crime and social challenges in certain neighborhoods. Recent urban renewal projects and community engagement are working to change the city and make it worth a visit. It is situated on the Mediterranean coast, serving as a major port city. Marseille is one of the oldest cities in France, with a history dating back more than 2,600 years. It was founded by Greek sailors in 600 BC and has a rich cultural and historical heritage. While visiting, we went on a walking tour visiting the Vieux Port. The Old Port is a busy area with restaurants, markets, and historic buildings. This is where the Christmas market is located. Along the way, we visited Marseille Catholic Cathedral with a mix of architectural styles including Romanesque and Gothic. We wandered the streets, stopping to see an area that has been left with tagging to remind us of how far the city has come in the revitalization over the past few years. The story being, after purging the city of heroin, the graffers were the first people willing to move back into the area and effectively were the first people who repopulated it. You will also see the Basilique Notre Dame de la Garde on the hill. It was completed in 1864. a Catholic basilica on the city's highest point, and serving as both a symbol of maritime protection and a place of pilgrimage. So, we moved to Portugal, and here we are, traveling Europe, in southern France, thinking, how would we do this differently if we were to start all over again? There are so many options, and no one option is the best for everyone. If we choose to only make minor adjustments, we could spend 6 months of the year traveling Europe. Why this? Funny enough, it's adaptable. We can easily do it over and over again while we are building our life in our new country. I know this doesn't sound cost-effective at all. And yes, it may take a little bit more money, and in our case, we need to ensure we don't run out of it as we age. Remember, we wanted to be millionaires, but fell short of the mark. So who cares? That said, it can be done if planned right. So world, here we come. Now, you've all heard about the stages of retirement before. But don't worry, I'm going to name them for you again. The first stage is the go-go years. This is typically during the first 10 years when you are healthy and able to travel the world, possibly with a backpack on your back or maybe a small rolling bag. Next come the slow-go years. I'm sure you can't guess what this one means. For fun, this is when you may start to reduce your activity levels and prefer a more relaxed lifestyle. This phase may coincide with health considerations, decreased energy levels, or desire for tranquility. I'm afraid to say, but I have some of these days already. And lastly, we come to the no-go years. This is when I'm too old to care or even feel the need to care. I do plan to be the old man saying, been there and done that, while I'm sitting in my chair staring at the ocean and the mountains. And later, when my son Arthur has to take care of me, oh boy. The focus today is Europe. Choose the country you want to relocate to and get your visa. We will link the latest video covering this at the end. It needs some views anyway. No matter which one you choose, France, Portugal, Spain, Italy, Greece, your visa will probably require that you stay in the country for 6 months consecutively, so plan to travel throughout your new home country right away. We think we did a pretty good job of this in our journey, going to Lisbon a few times in that time. Interestingly enough, this first 6 months we had so much to do for our moving process that it really wasn't an issue anyway. And so, here you are with a home, one way or another, and it's time to sort out the next 6 months. Earlier, we said we'd spend some time traveling the world if we did everything over again. We could travel across Europe using off-season to get good prices, traveling to southern France in October, so on and so forth. With all the research that we've done by this point, having sold all of our old belongings, going through visa process, and moving to a foreign country, getting to enjoy Europe would be a great time. I bet you are thinking, what's the big advantage to this? It has a number of positives. 1, you are building a life in your new country and ultimately going to be able to apply for citizenship and get a second passport, depending on your country of choice. 2, you are getting to know the entire country that you've moved to, not just one city. 3, this is the big one. With your residence permit, you are able to travel freely throughout the EU countries without worrying about overstaying your welcome. This is something worth taking advantage of. 4, you are becoming so worldly that your grown children are thinking, who is that guy? Don't worry, I'm still the one that will tell you no, and that I love you, all in the same sentence. 5, looking at things from this lens to begin with is great, because as an American, I love to drive, so getting to travel by car. Exploring the countryside or choosing to stay in a small village for a month is very appealing. So you are sitting there thinking, why don't I just keep my non-EU country residence and travel throughout Europe or the world? Absolutely. We will go into more detail in the future. When traveling from city to city or country to country, you will get to experience so much more of the culture and real life if you limit your flights. You could even travel throughout Europe without a car since the rail system is extensive and the cost good. Should we choose not to use a car, we know we can still enjoy the life in each stopping point along our journey, settling into an old home, walking through Cascais before taking the train to the next location. And stopping to see every garden or chateau along the way is at the top of the list. With each new place and the longer you stay, your language skills will expand. And you will make new friends. Some will be fellow travelers and some locals. And think of the food you will get to experience and the fun of learning to shop for and make new dishes. Remember the part that I like to eat and Leslie likes to cook? I am definitely open to these new adventures. Won't it be fun? I mean, it'll be fun. To let you know, there are cons to this type of living, and you will just have to balance this out for yourself. Living out of a suitcase, being away from family, maybe the costs. Should you be too frivolous or rushed in your plans, or if you choose to be only focused on the big cities. There are certainly other cons, but do remember this: you don't get to have another chance at seeing and doing these things. Being tired due to a grand adventure isn't a bad thing when this is all the time you have left. The aches and pains only get worse, so no excuses. Remember, life is short. We should have done this sooner. Let us know what we can help you with. Our vendors and affiliate links are how we support this channel. They are located in the description of our videos, as well as our website and Patreon. We'd like to take a moment to thank all of our Patreon supporters. Your financial support is truly appreciated, allowing us to create new content. We hope you continue to come along with us on our new adventure. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to help us grow. The next stage in your life is a journey.